Texas, and this is Jamie.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And today we're going to talk about UFC 252, Miocic versus Cormier III for the heavyweight title. It's a big fight. Doesn't feel as big as it should. Obviously, the pandemic and everything, but we're really excited for this one. What are your thoughts on how things have been going with the UFC, James? How you been thinking about with COVID and everything?
I'm really impressed with the UFC, how they've been able to pull all these events back to back, and they've been able to deliver, and they've been exciting fights so far. So I'm impressed. How
Yeah,
about you?
definitely. Yeah. I mean, even there's always nothing's gonna be perfect. Some people will pull out. Some people get sick. Some people will get injured. It's just normal right now. But it's been really exciting. We've had some amazing fights, some great events. Some guys are putting it all on the line. Some guys are just trying to prove themselves to the world. So it's been really exciting. And this card looks like it's another chance for some guys to kind of pull out of just being in the middle of everything and becoming standouts. So, it's been a whirlwind. Let's look at the card real quick. And one of the fights was actually canceled off the main card, which was Kutalaba, and I can't remember his name for the life of me right now, but that was going to be in the main card. It was a rematch, but Kutalaba tested positive for COVID. So now we're going to get Herbert Burns versus Pinata, and then Dodson versus Marab, and Cigano dos Santos versus Rosenstrike, OMalley versus Vera, obviously Miocic versus Cormier. So we'll start with the first two. We're going to give our quick picks. Herbert Burns, Daniel Pineda, how do you got this one going?
I think this is going to be a really interesting fight. They both got boosted up to the main card. I don't know much about both fighters, but all I know is that Herbert Burns is a really good jiu-jitsu fighter.
Yeah.
And he should be able to pull this one off for me.
Yeah, he's probably gonna submit him. I mean, I think Pineda. I think he's his first fight back in the UFC. I think he's been out of it, so I can see the same thing happening. Now Dodson versus Marab. What do you got in this one? This one's a pretty interesting fight.
Marab, I heard he's got a lot of hype behind him, and Dodson, you already know he always brings it. He's a very heavy hitter. I think Dodson has been through a lot of wars as well. He's a really crafty fighter, especially in standing up and striking and whatnot. But I think Marab has a lot of momentum going for him. I think he should be able to pull this off, possibly finish him.
I think it's interesting. Dodson just beat a prospect and then upset. Marab's kind of a wrestler. He's a pretty unique fighter, but yeah, I agree with you. I think Marab can win, but if I'm gonna really put a prediction on the record, I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go with Dodson. I think he might be a little crafty, and I think he's gonna pull something out. I'm gonna go with Dodson.
Most definitely.
So now we move to one of the big ones, Biggie Boy, Jair Rosenstrike versus Junior Cigano dos Santos. This one I think is probably the second best fight on the card for me. I think JDS has been through a lot. He's been through so many wars, but man, he brings it all the time. I mean, even when if you had to put him away, if he's not gonna bring it, the way Miocic did, or you're over him, this guy just always brings it. He's one of the best boxers in the UFC, bar none. He's just a great fighter, great ambassador for the sport. Rosenstrike, on the other hand, he was on a roll. The way he knocked out Overeem was amazing. The way he knocked out Arlovsky was amazing. He's a kickboxer. He's an incredible striker himself. His weakness is grappling a little bit, but man, that guy hits hard and he can strike. He's coming off a loss. I think Dos Santos is coming off a win, if I'm not mistaken. But this is an interesting fight. So how do you see this one going?
This is going to be an exciting fight. These are heavyweights, and anything can happen at the division. As far as I know, Dos Santos, he's been through a lot of wars, wins and losses. But I think his chin is a bit questionable. And I think Biggie Boy is going to pull this one off by a knockout, in my opinion. unless Dos Santos takes him down. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, Dos Santos, his chin's very questionable, but we'll see. I got
Yeah,
Biggie Boy.
yeah. You got him by stoppage, by
Yeah,
knockout.
by stoppage, second
Yeah,
round, somewhere around there.
second round. Yeah, I agree. I think Dos Santos is man taking too many shots. I mean, the Velasquez fights, Miocic. He's fought Mark Hunt. He's fought. Oh, he got knocked out by Overeem. You know, he's fought Derek
Yeah.
Lewis. I mean, he beat Derek Lewis, but I mean, still, Derek Lewis was throwing heavy bombs, and this guy's been through a lot. Rosenstrike been knocked out himself. He is coming off a loss. So it's interesting to see how he'll be after that because that was a pretty big loss on a pretty big stage. But it's
Oh yeah.
Francis Ngannou, you know. Francis Ngannou touches you, you're done.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see how he would react to some grappling, just so he can you know try to prove
try to,
himself.
yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
think that Dos Santos has the advantage. I think that he can do it. Problem is, and Dan Hardy pointed it out when I watched this video, was Dos Santos prides himself on being like the representative of boxing in the UFC heavyweight division. He prides himself on that.
Yeah.
He'll use clinch work if he has to. He'll defend the takedowns, but his bread and butter, what he's gonna do and what he plans to do, is try to piece you up on the feet. So
Yeah.
if he does go with that route, I think that he has a great chance of winning. But Rosenstrike has shown that even when someone grappled him, like Overeem did, he was still able to knock him on the fifth, and like in the waning seconds of the fight. So he's definitely got that power. He's not gonna get tired. I mean, even if he does, he can knock you out. So I think I got
Yeah.
Rosenstrike by decision or by like second, third round knockout.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Dos Santos has a mean overhand, so
Yeah, yeah,
I
oh
mean
yeah.
he will hold his own.
And he does a
And
really good job of throwing that uppercut too. And he
yeah,
also does a really good job of when he pressures you and he puts you like against the cage. He does a really good job of kind of keeping you there and cutting you off. It's no one really talks about it. He's so
yeah,
big, but man, he's really good at it.
yeah. He's got a lot of good feints. One thing that I question his strategy on the way he keeps his hands very low,
Yeah, that's true.
and I'm not sure if I think he should have already changed that a bit, but who knows? I mean, I think that
Yeah,
affects him getting touched a lot too.
yeah,
But
that's what happened in the Velasquez fight. He's susceptible. He didn't expect it, and boom, he got caught. So
yeah, I'm excited for this fight though.
yeah. All right, co-main event: Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera. This is an interesting one. Marlon Vera, kind of a bit of a wild card type of fighter.
Yeah,
Not necessarily disciplined in one area, but man, he just fights. You know, he's not the best striker, but he throw hands, he'll throw kicks, he'll do whatever. He's not the most accomplished ground guy or nothing like that, but man, he can choke you out. He's really good at it too, and he's a scrambler. Not the best wrestler, but he's willing to go there. The guy he's a scrapper. You know, that's what he is.
I don't know
Sean
why, but
O'Malley.
he reminds me a lot of Tony Ferguson.
Yeah,
He's sort
he's
of a
kind of
crazy fighter.
yeah, he's kind of a crazy fighter, and he's very entertaining to watch. You know, his fights are always good. And he's a finisher. He's got I guess the thing that defines him is killer instinct. He has killer instinct, and he's been stopped. I think he's been stopped, and he hasn't won every fight, and he has had his fights where he's been kind of schooled a little bit. But I mean, man, he still goes after you no matter what. Against Sean O'Malley, you know the type of fighter he is. He really does have great striking. I mean, as much as he's been kind of pissing people off lately with his attitude and stuff and his words, he can box and he does a lot of great strikes. He does a lot of his feints are really really good. He reads guys. He's patient. He's smart. A lot of things that a lot of young guys aren't. That's what he is. So what do you think about this one?
I think for Marlon Vera, his keys to victory, I think, is just keep doing what he's doing, and just be very unpredictable. Especially, I think his ground game is very underrated. I think he's got a lot of weapons down there in the jiu-jitsu department. I think he can finish this fight with a rear naked choke or any type of submission. On the stand-up, I don't think he wants to mess around too much there. But I mean,
Yeah.
he can hold his own. I
Hmm.
just think that Sean O'Malley is really crafty for a very young fighter like him. I
Hmm.
think he knows how to counter very well. He knows how to use his footwork, and he's very long.
Hmm.
and he can use kicks as well.
Yeah, his kicks are good
And
too.
he's got a lot of reach, in my opinion. And I think he can. I think Sean O'Malley is gonna take this one.
Yeah,
He's probably gonna finish this fight, but don't get me wrong. I think this is gonna be a very very gritty fight, and
yeah,
I
I
don't think
agree.
Bear is gonna go down that easy.
I think there's only two ways this fight goes down. At least from what I can think, it's either going to be a pretty early O'Malley knockout after like 3 to 4 minutes, or at the end of a first, because he read him, he knows what he's going to do, and he finishes him and strikes. Or
Yeah,
Vera turns this into an ugly, almost brawl scramble, and he probably gets hurt even in that. I think no matter what, O'Malley's going to touch Vera. It just depends on what Vera does, how he reacts, and if he can take it. If he can take his
yeah,
best shots and not get hurt, and he just makes it into a dogfight, man, I think either way, if that happens, it'll be a good experience for O'Malley. He's in bantamweight. There's a lot of dogs in that division, so it'd be good for him. But I do think that the most likely outcome is going to be O'Malley knocking him out. But Vera,
yeah.
like
Most
like I
definitely.
said, he won't go down easy. Dude's a dog.
Yeah, I'd like to see this fight go down on the ground,
Yeah,
just
it'd be
because I
very
want to see
interesting.
how Sean O'Malley is down there, and not only that, but it'll give him an experience for further fights,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
take him to deep waters, in my opinion. See what he's
Yeah,
got, and
serious
and
championship material.
yeah, exactly. He's talking a big game, so we want to see what he's all about.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Now the main event.
Because this sport is not just about you know,
Yeah, that's
boxing or
true. No, yeah, there's a lot more to it. All
yeah,
right, so
absolutely.
the main event, we have Stipe Miocic, heavyweight champ, versus Daniel Cormier, EC, former heavyweight champ. This is the the rubber match. This is the last one in the trilogy. The UFC's been really hyping up this trilogy. We've seen these guys fight twice already. We've seen them
Absolutely.
for 5 rounds. It's To me, it's a really really good fight in terms of styles. Miocic is a well-rounded striker who can wrestle, who can defend a takedown. He has some weaknesses, but most heavyweights do, if not all. DC, amazing wrestler, one of the best we've ever seen, um, and he's a great striker. He's got fast hands. Not the best striker. He's got a lot of weaknesses himself. And it's a great fight. First fight, he finishes Miocic. A bit of a controversy because of the eye pokes. There was a lot of
Yeah,
eye
absolutely.
poking. And then the second fight, same thing. DC was still poking the eyes. I don't think he was doing it on purpose. I think it's just a habit of his. It's not like Jones where I can see Jones is like, okay, there's something there. But with DC, you can tell that he's just, it's just a habit. It's not something he's trying to do. He's trying to work on it. Miocic finished him. He got down to that body. He saw the opening. His coach saw it, took him down, finished him, and before those body shots, Cormier was breathing hard. He had snot coming out of his nose. Dude was exhausted, and Miocic was fresh. There's one thing that Miocic definitely has an advantage in. It's conditioning cardio. Even though DC is a machine, it just tells you about the type of pace these guys push.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go first this time, as tradition. I think that this fight, I think that Cormier is gonna adjust. I don't think he's gonna be putting his hands out, leaving his body exposed. I think he's gonna adjust. I think Mendez is gonna tell him not to do that, and he's gonna try to wrestle. He's gonna try to wrestle more. Problem is, if he does try to wrestle, I think it's gonna tire him out a little more, because I think that's the reason why he got tired in the second fight. I think that he was trying to grapple, and I think he did take down Miocic kept him down there for a bit, and it tired him out. It's not because wrestling tires him out or he's in bad shape or anything like that. It's just that it's in the heavyweight division, and Miocic does a really good job of making him work for it. So I think that he's going to try to go for that. He's going to try to keep him guessing. He's going to try to land that overhand again, the one that he caught him with in the first fight, for sure. But I think obviously Miocic will get caught, but I think he's going to be more prepared this time as well. But I think that because Cormier is going to not do that thing, I think he's going to leave his face and his head a bit more exposed. And I think Miocic is going to take advantage of that. I think most of this fight, at least 75% of it's going to be on the feet. And I think Miocic is going to do a lot of jabs and straight rights and 1-2s to keep Cormier at bay. I think that he's going to try to keep the distance. I think that he's going to try to use his reach advantage. I think that they're going to do that. And whenever they go inside, what he's going to do is he's going to try to hit the body, and Cormier is going to try to push him away there. And Miocic just got to be careful because he doesn't want to get caught with that overhand. But I have Miocic winning by decision in a somewhat close fight where Cormier wins a couple of rounds or a round, but I think Miocic does enough to win and basically solidify that he's the better fighter, at least the heavyweight. So that's my
Yeah,
prediction.
it's a good assessment. Yeah, for me, I think that, I mean, I really enjoyed both fights. I think that both guys put it on out there. For me, the first fight, I thought it was a bit of luck for Cormier. I think he caught him right at the moment. I mean, I wish I would have seen more of that first fight, but we were able to see the whole thing unravel in the second, and it was a great fight. To be honest, man, I don't know how Daniel Cormier recovers from that loss, man, because
Yeah,
that was a brutal way to go out, in my opinion. You know, I think he was doing great in the beginning of the fight. He was using his wrestling. That's where he was going to win the fight.
yeah,
And I just think that he got tired, man. And trying to take down a guy that and trying to keep him down, and then he keeps getting back up, trying to take him down again and keeping him down is just really tiring, man. And I don't think he was ready for that. I think he was expecting to be able to outbox Stipe, and it didn't go that way.
yeah,
I think Stipe's boxing is very underrated. I mean, he's got great boxing skills. He knows how to weave. He knows how to jab. He knows how to do things, and that was a masterful job by him going to the body. He was able to chop him down, and in the fifth round, he was able to put him out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure if in the third fight Daniel Cormier is going to wrestle, but I would advise him to. I hope he comes more prepared, more in shape. Especially, I think if he wrestles and he's in shape, he will be able to take this fight. But I think Stipe knows how to beat him now. I
yeah.
think Stipe will be able to get back up and hurt him. I think he'll be able to hurt him, chop him down again, and beat him. I got
Yeah.
Stipe. I got
You got
Stipe by
Stipe
decision.
by
Yeah,
decision. Yeah,
yeah,
and then another thing that we should take note is that Miocic is weighs less this time, and Cormier is I think weighing more. I think he's not ballooning up, but I think he's gaining a little more weight on purpose, and Miocic is losing more weight on purpose as well. I think
yeah,
that indicates what their plans are. Miocic is gonna try to move. He's gonna try to keep distance. He's gonna try to jab. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws body kicks, because Cormier, like I said, might adjust to the punches, but the kicks might be, key for him in this fight. If he throws some body kicks, keeps the distance, and throws leg kicks, I think that he has a really good chance of just boxing him and keeping him at bay. And then Cormier is putting on more weight. You know what he's trying to do. He wants to, tire him out, put that weight, the Tyson Fury on Deontay Wilder thing, just wear him
yeah,
down. Thing is, Miocic is a strong guy. I think even when he loses the weight, I think no matter what, I think Miocic is going to win this fight. I wouldn't be too shocked if DC catches him or he does, take him down and not finishes him, but does enough. But I think that Miocic I see Miocic winning.
yeah. I see Miocic winning too. I mean, Daniel Cormier, he's been through some wars with Jones,
Yeah,
and now Miocic was able to
and
stop
Gus,
him. I think, yeah,
Gus
Gus
put
as
him
well.
through the ringer.
Yeah, and I don't know how many more fights Daniel Cormier has. If not, this might be his last.
I think it's his last one. I think he said his last one no matter what, but I think
Yeah,
that I think even then, like how much if it's the last fight, how much does he have in that tank to prove in this one last fight? Is he
yeah,
still,
absolutely.
championship worthy? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, absolutely. I
I
think,
mean,
yeah, I think Stipe is going to be able to handle this pretty well, especially coming off the victory from the second fight. I think he, I think he opened himself to better opportunities for this third fight and winning it.
yeah, I agree. I agree. So predictions officially, we both got Burns. You got Marab. I got Dotson. We both got Rosenstrike. We both got O'Malley, and we both got Miocic. So those are our predictions
Yeah,
for UFC 252 on Saturday. It's going to be a good one. I'm really excited for it. No matter what, I think DC deserves a lot of recognition for all the hate he gets. Dude's a great guy. He's a great fighter. One of the best heavyweights, light heavyweights of all time. And
yeah, absolutely.
Miocic is definitely one of the best heavyweights of all time. Dude also deserves respect for taking the fight and being patient. It's going to be a great card. I'm really excited, and I'm glad we got to talk this one out. See how what we think is going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Daniel Cormier, he's uh he's proven more than a lot of fighters. I think he's an overachiever, and I think
For sure.
he's put on a lot of great fights,
Yeah,
even
and
from even before him getting to the UFC back in Strikeforce. I think
of course.
he was a great fighter, and
Yeah.
one of the best wrestlers
Yeah,
of all
definitely.
time.
He showed a lot of will, even with the whole Jones thing. He and the hate he got. He's shown a lot of fortitude, and he showed how effective wrestling can be at the heavy divisions. And I mean, he was a double champ. I mean, a lot of people can't say they've done that.
Absolutely.
Not even Jones. So
Yeah.
those are our predictions. This is Broad Talk. I'm Alexis,
I'm
and
Jamie.
thank you guys for watching, and please like and subscribe and comment. We love to debate, and we look forward to the fights.
Thank you. Till next time.
Peace.